Now, the first thing we want to point out to you is the medical disclaimer, so please read that. So let's talk about this 14-day raw foods. Now, a lot of times when you think about 14-day raw foods, you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to be so nasty. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. But guess what, guys? The honest truth is this 14-day, it's not magic, it's science, okay? And one of the things that we've seen is that people who do these 14-day meal plans actually have better cognitive abilities. They are able to actually retain more information for their exams, and it removes that brain fog, which is really something that really impedes exam scores or hurts the exam scores. So please be sure to look at that. So let's jump right into this. So what does this consist of? So basically these foods that we talk about, of course, you know, you've heard about the fruits and the vegetables. These are some of the things that you will be using in this 14-day meal plan. A lot of the plant-based fats that you're going to be going after are like your avocados, the hemp seeds, you know, the pumpkin seeds, the sunflower. Those are some of those good plant-based fats, okay? All of your juices, let me just say, anytime you have a juice, do not go to the store, get it off the shelf, unless you know the particular ingredients in that juice, meaning that it is strictly raw juicing. If you're not sure whether or not it's raw juicing, what I would recommend is to definitely juice your own juices, okay? In terms of teas, you know, I wouldn't say go out there and get these extravagant, all these very exotic teas. Stick to the basics. If you're going to do a tea, do like a green tea or some type of herbal tea, but keep it very basic, okay? All right. What do you want to avoid in this 14 days? You want to stay away from any type of animal protein, eggs, fish, red meat, any of that, right? Stay away from the dairy. You don't want to do that in this 14-day meal plan. Nothing fried, baked, grilled, boiled, none of that. It's so raw. It's 14 days raw, okay? And so also, I know some of you all may be coffee drinkers. 14 days, we're going to ask you to abstain from that coffee, okay? Just stay away from the coffee, the alcohol, things like that. You really want to limit the oils too, even though you see olive oil here, and you'll see it in some of the things that you may have in our 14-day, but you really want to stay away from the oils during this 14-day period. But we'll talk about some of those. All right. Typically, every day of your 14 days should start off with a smoothie, some type of smoothie. That's how you start your day off with basically, let me say this first, water first, then a smoothie. You want to make sure, I always say a little water and lemon to start your day is pretty good. And then after that, go ahead and jump right into the smoothies, okay? Get that smoothie, get you started. There are a lot of different smoothies out there. I tell you what, so I guess out of these, my favorite smoothie is the avocado and spinach green smoothie. That's one of my favorites. Every now and then when I'm feeling a little bit like I got a little sweet tooth, I might go to the mint chocolate chip smoothie. But these are some good recommendations for some of those smoothies, okay? The other smoothie I like is this classic green smoothie. You know, I love green. I love spinach, you know, the kale, the collard greens, things like that. So me personally, I love the green smoothies. But for our students that took this test, they used a mixture of these smoothies, but they use these smoothies on a daily basis. So in the 14 days, they started their day off with like a lemon water combination, and then they went into a smoothie, okay? Now, after they did the smoothie, now they were wondering, okay, what am I going to eat for like my big meal? So here are some suggestions on things that you can make. These are very simple to make. This cauliflower mash is delicious, okay? It is really delicious. Now, let me just tell you, you will need a blender. If you don't have a food processor, you might be able to get away with some of these, but I would recommend you to have a food processor. A food processor is going to make this a lot easier, but a blender, a food processor are some of the necessities of what you might need, okay? The ingredients that you see in a lot of these things are going to be pretty much, you know, some of the same things. You may see apple cider vinegar in some of this, but this cauliflower mash is a good one and what I call your big meals in the day, okay? Your big meals. Typically, when you are hungry, I always say graze, just like cattle. throughout the day, cattle are grazing, right? So they're always eating. So whenever you feel yourself getting a little hungry, take whatever fruits you like, whatever vegetables you like. For me, I love grapes. I love, in terms of vegetables, I love cucumbers. So I'll keep grapes and cucumbers with me at all times. So if I ever get hungry, I'll just pop in some grapes and some cucumbers, maybe even some carrots. So do that throughout the day, anytime you're feeling hungry. So in between meals. So let's you start your day off with a smoothie. And then, a couple hours, about an hour or two later, you start to get hungry. Well, it's not lunchtime yet, so you go ahead and pop in maybe some grapes or whatever your fruit or vegetable is. And then once you get to your big meal, you may want to do like a cauliflower mash or something like that. Another good one I would say are these cauliflower, I'm sorry, collard wraps. These collard wraps. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you're not used to eating raw collard, it can be a little rough on you at first. You got to chew it really, really good. But this is a great recipe for a collard wrap with the creamy cucumber sauce. Right out, definitely, I want to hear what you thought about that. The next thing, this is one of my go-tos, is guacamole. I love avocados, first of all. But this raw guacamole right here, I normally will do this with some dehydrated chips, but it's really, really good. Again, everything that I'm telling you is what these students use to increase their exam scores. All of them did this. They stuck to it. They did not deviate at all from the plan. Now, they didn't do these in this particular order. Some of them actually they may have loved guacamole so much, they may have done guacamole 2 or 3 days. They didn't do it just one day. So whatever you like, you'll get a feel for that. But make sure in that 14 days, you basically stay raw in terms of the meal plan, okay? Another thing is this cauliflower tabbouleh salad. This is something else that I say, it may not be super filling, but once you combine this with, the fruits and vegetables or something else you like, or even, like I say, if you get, you feel like you need a little something extra, always get a smoothie. A smoothie will definitely satisfy you. Okay. Now, this one, I tried this and we had the students try this and I got some feedback from it. So most of the students really like this raw cauliflower. And even though it says the word fried, is actually not fried. Okay, you're actually going to still be using your food processor, but it's really, really good. So you might want to definitely try that out too. Now, this zucchini pesto pasta is, I'm going to tell you the key to this though, and this is the feedback we got from the students, is making sure that the pesto sauce is on point. Once the pesto sauce is on point, it's going to really bring out that zucchini. Okay, so make sure that whatever you do, you may have to play around with the pesto sauce a little bit just to the right flavor that you want and the consistency that you want. But I will say this is one of the ones that the students did say that it was a little tough to get the pesto right, but once they got it right, they were good. Okay. This other one is this kelp noodle. So the kelp can be a little rough, especially if you never have kelp noodles before. But I tell you what, again, this comes down really to the sauce that goes over the kelp noodles. Now, I will tell you, you will become really, really good at soaked cashews. That is going to be one of the things you're going to have to really get good at, because a lot of these recipes call for soaked cashews. And these are going to be raw cashews. So don't get the ones that are roasted and salted. These are going to be raw cashews. The next thing is this raw vegan chili. This probably was at the top of the list for the students in terms of what they like, especially if you like a little spice, a little flavor. This raw vegan chili is really, really good. Definitely with that smoked paprika and then those sprouted lentils. So what I would definitely tell you to do is, if you're going to do this, make sure that you keep it at in terms of your chickpeas and things like, if you were going to use chickpeas, remember, you do not want to cook them like at a high boiling point or anything like that. You want to keep them really what we call in the raw range, okay? This next thing is the sushi. Now, I gotta admit, now I love the sushi. The students, so one day we had some students who actually came to our office and we prepared this raw vegan sushi. And when I tell you, I did not prepare enough, those sushi rolls were gone in no time. Once you get good at these sushi rolls, you're going to find out that this is going to be almost a true game changer for you in terms of like those late night snacks when you know you don't want anything heavy, but you do want something filling. These raw vegan sushi rolls are going to be really good. Okay. Now, this mushroom risotto is really, really, let me say that again, really, really, really good, but it is not the easiest to master. Okay. It's not the easiest to master, but it's really, really good. Okay. The raviolis, honestly, if I had to say, and I hate to say this, but out of all the dishes in this 14-day raw meal plan, the raw vegan ravioli probably was the least the students were the least excited about it. Some of them liked it, but for the most part, I would say they didn't really. I personally like it, but they weren't too keen about this one. Okay, now those are your major dishes. Your salads are like all day, any day, every day, whatever you want to do. I would always say if you get hungry, throw a bunch of different things onto your plate. The greens, the kale, the broccoli sprouts, the tomatoes, the avocados, whatever you want to do, throw it onto a salad. What's going to make the salad good, or what's going to change the salad for you, is the dressing. Okay, is the dressing. So a lot of the times when we told our students about how to create these dressings, right? They first, when they found one they liked, they tried to stick to that for a while, but then, maybe after a day or two, they get bored with it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share with you a few different salad dressing recipes. Play with those, mix them up a little bit. I would say try to switch off maybe, every other day to maybe a new salad dressing. But y'all, here's the thing. The bottom line is this: you are trying to increase your exam scores, right? And you probably studied a lot. You probably put in the work. You may not be seeing the progress that you want on those exam scores. This is something that can change that. It can help you. The best thing, like I said, to do is you got to be consistent, though. You can't say, okay, I'm going to do it 2 or 3 days and I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. No, you got to be consistent for this 14 days, okay? Now, I'm not going to go over all these dressings with you, but I will tell you this. If you want to ask me what's the most liked dressing out of all these for the students, the number one, probably number one, would be the raw vegan ranch dressing. This is like most of the students gave this a 10 out of 10. The other dressing that I would say that they really, really enjoyed was this sesame ginger. This was a really, really good dressing for them, that sesame ginger. And then probably in third place was this raspberry vinaigrette. Now, again, this is going to be based on what you like and, kind of things you like. If you're trying to increase that exam score, then you want to increase the amount of information that you retain. You also want to increase the amount of comprehension, the cognition. You want to decrease the brain fog. This 14-day raw meal plan can help you. Trust me, it can help you increase that exam score. No, it's not a guarantee because if you don't study, it doesn't really matter. But you've got to study. You put this in place with the study. You allow that brain to become a sponge. It retains that information, it absorbs it. And then when you need it, it pours it right back out to you. All right. So that's the key thing if you're looking to really increase that exam score. Please. Now, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know what you think. If there is anything that you want to add, or if there are any questions you might want to have for us, reach out to us at mdiprep.org. Check us out, www.mdiprep.online. We are more than happy to help you.